Hello, welcome back to Baseball News and Views. My name is Mark, joined as always with Chris here. Chris, how are we doing here week 4 of the MLB season?
Doing good. Just got out of work, wearing my scrubs right now, and ready to talk some Pirates baseball.
I love it. All right, that's a great lead right there. The Pirates are the talk of the town, 18-8 right now, leading the way in the Central. Is this a good fairy tale fun story, or is this something that can kind of maintain? And do you see this Pirates team as a competitive baseball team?
Yeah, I do. I do. I see them as a competitive team. I know I don't want to jump too early with April starts, but I think they actually got some talent on this team. I don't really like the NL Central a lot, so I think they could definitely compete. I think with the Brewers and the Cubs, they can compete with them. The Cardinals look terrible.
Yeah, it's a very winnable division. We'll get into the Cardinals. We'll stay on the Pirates for right
Okay.
now. 18-8, yeah, it's a phenomenal start. I mean, if you remember when McCutchen signed that deal, he said this isn't like a farewell tour. This is like a fun young group of guys. I think we can actually do something here. And everyone's like, whatever, McCutchen. But now you look at him like, maybe he was onto something.
Yeah, and they just extended Reynolds too. Big week for them. Just took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. But they look good. They have talent. I actually like their pitching a lot. They have Rosney Contreras, who I was very mad when the Yankees traded him for Jameson Taillon.
Was he a
looks
prospect?
great. Yeah, he was. He was top 100
okay.
prospect. They traded
Really?
him, and he looks really good. He looks like a guy that could anchor that staff.
Yeah, they lead the MLB in quality starts right now, which is it's a really important stat for real baseball when you have guys that go 6 innings like that and just don't tax your bullpen. I think Oviedo has 3, Contreras has 3. They're getting good innings from Rich Hill. Like so, everything's really working out right now. Vince Velasquez is pitching well for them.
Yeah.
That's why I like.
Fantasy week.
Yeah, when you look at Vince Velasquez and Rich Hill, I think you kind of have to question how serious this team actually is. But of course, hey, if you stay relevant, you stay competitive, and who knows what you can do? We can add to this team prospects. There's a lot of different ways.
Yeah, a lot of different avenues they can go down. Offensively, I like their team too. I mean, like we can get into this now because we're talking about pitching, but they got a legit closer in Bednar.
Bednar's really good.
Yeah.
Bednar was a guy that I think everyone was like,
Yeah,
he's going
everyone
to get traded. And I think he was a natural guy that I thought the Mets were going to be linked to once Diaz went down for the year, which could still happen. We can't sit here and say the Pirates are definitely going to be buyers, but if in this trajectory, obviously Bednar would not be available, so the Mets would have to look elsewhere for relief help. But that's just in general. I think every team was on Bednar at some point.
Yeah, everyone's got linked to Bednar. So I think they got a legit anchor back there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know too much about their other relievers.
Yeah,
I can't get too far.
They kind of have
into
some
it.
guys they mix and match with. No one's. They have Holderman. He was a guy in the Mets who they traded for Vogelbach. I actually like his stuff a lot. I don't think he's pitching super well, but he is setting up Bednar right now. You talked about Reynolds there, signed that extension. I was actually very surprised by that. Of course, he very famously asked for a trade this winter. They obviously declined that trade request. He wound up signing a deal for 8 years and $106 million. Now, listen, that's awesome. Get your bag, but to request a trade and then sign a deal for like 13 a year for a borderline star player, I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I guess it shows that he really wants to stay there, even though he did demand a trade. But I guess the GM showed him that they're really going to try to win. They show them ways that they think they're going to win, and he bought onto it. Maybe he said, like, we're not rebuilding anymore. We're going to try to sign guys, and we don't know what happened behind closed doors.
That's true, but I'm just looking around, like the way money's being thrown around in baseball right now. This is a guy who it's like an 800 OPS bat, solid corner guy. He's going to hit like 270, 20, 25 home runs. Like I would have thought he'd be closer to 20 million than 10 million.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. I thought he was definitely underpaid. But you know what's interesting? A lot of guys aren't getting to free agency anymore.
That's true.
A lot of guys are getting extended. The free agent classes are not as deep as they used to be. It's usually now it's 1 or 2 guys, and then there's really not much. It's pretty crazy.
This upcoming
guys
class,
are getting re-signed.
This upcoming class is very weak, especially in the outfield with the likes of Brian Reynolds and Ian Happ both already signing extensions. So it's pretty thin in the free agency.
Yeah, it looks like the new wave in baseball is guys signing extensions, and guys aren't getting to free agency. It's pretty interesting.
It's pretty smart too. We say in some situations they do leave money on the table, but most of the time, baseball's a hard sport. There's injuries. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. I think the players understand that.
Yeah, and it's definitely good. I mean, I don't know if the Players Association is going to love the contract that he took, honestly. A good player getting $13 million a year. I think Bud Norris might have something to say about that.
Yeah, there is the newest thing with the Players Association. I know Commissioner and the owners are trying to get something enforced now where there's not guaranteed contracts with baseball. It's never going to happen. They're never going to give that up. That makes no sense ever. Of course, in other sports, that's happening, but the fact that the precedent's already been set, the players will never give that up.
No.
That just
Can't-
makes no
can't
sense.
Take that away.
So you talked about the Cardinals there for a second there, how they look really, really bad. The Cardinals currently are 10-16. They sit in last place. Really strange move the other day. They sent down Jordan Walker, their top phenom prospect. He's 20 years old. He made this team. He started off his career on a 13-game hit streak. He's currently batting .275 with 2 home runs and 2 steals. Explain this to me.
Why make the team?
It makes
Why
no
even
sense.
put him on the team then? You're messing with this kid. He played well.
For no reason.
He played pretty well. 275. I don't know the peripherals behind it, but
He was hitting the ball very hard, but on the ground. So they're trying to kind of work on his swing now. But I mean, I think it's a really bad idea.
How could you have him break camp and then not?
And he's hitting 275. He's not hitting 215.
Yeah.
Like,
how are you gonna send him down?
and this team is struggling. I was sitting there watching it because it was kind of. I saw it like unfolding because they were sitting him like a lot. He sat 4 out of like the last 5 games and like with no explained reason.
Team's in last place.
They're in last place.
Probably play your best players.
They have a bunch of outfielders, but they're not good. That's the whole thing everyone's talking about. Like, oh, they have Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson and Alec Burleson. These guys aren't good.
Dylan Carlson's been talked about for the last 7 years.
That's
horrible.
And they wouldn't include him in a Juan Soto trade. He was off limits, which this looks really bad for the Cardinals organization. Like you said, why even make the team? Why are you trying to mess with this kid's swing who's had this immense success? This happens. Guys have high ground ball rates. They have to adjust. You got to let the kid adapt.
He's 20 years old.
Exactly. He's 20 years old. And I'm just like, how? That's such a bad precedent. And I think it's really bad.
Yeah, it is bad. That's bad for. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad for baseball. It's bad for the Cardinals. I mean, what are you guys doing? Why are you messing with this kid? I mean, I don't think teams do that in baseball. I don't think any other teams do that.
It makes no sense. Like, there's no way to like put this together. And like you just said, why make him make the team? Why have him make this opening day roster then? What
did they expect?
Exactly.
What did they expect out of him?
They were saying it's the ground ball rate's too high. Apparently his defense isn't great in right field. But
Sending a guy down for a ground ball rate?
And again here, you knew that going in that he was a bad outfielder. It wasn't like news to you like, oh, this converted third baseman that we stuck in the outfield because we signed Nolan Arenado. He can't, like, this isn't news. You can't be surprised when this happens.
I'm sure his ground ball rate was probably the same in the minors too.
I mean, yeah, maybe he was lifting the ball a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure there. It's just, it's stifling, it's confusing, it's frustrating, and the Cardinals are a last place team right now.
Yeah, and they have no pitching at all.
They have no pitching.
The average age of a pitching staff of 45 probably. Every old veteran ever is there.
All right, let's get out of the NL Central now. We talked about that just about enough. Over to the AL Central now, really quickly. I don't want to harp on this too much. We kind of talk about it every night now, you and I, about how just awful the Chicago White Sox are. It's like kind of baffling. And I remember in the beginning of the year, we both talked about them. I think I was definitely a little bit more high on them than you were, but we were both like, yeah, this team's not going to do much. I couldn't imagine this. They look like the worst team in baseball.
I honestly, I hate being like, oh, I told you. I definitely saw this coming. I think this roster was. I always thought this. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but this roster was always a dumpster fire to me, and like the way they played is just stupid. You can't rely on any of them. You literally can't rely on any single one of those players. You can't rely on anyone.
You look at them up to down. Eloy and Robert under 200. Vaughn,
they'll get hurt in 2 weeks.
Vaughn's 230. I mean, no one else is even there. The rest of them, like minor league. Elvis Andrews.
They're horrible.
I know TA's on a rehab now. TA will be back next week, but he's not going to change much here.
No, they should probably trade him.
He'll probably trade. I saw someone say the Dodgers, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, they probably should trade him. They're not winning anything anytime soon. I mean, they do have good pieces to trade, honestly. They do have some pieces that they could, like, branch off. Like, a ton for Dylan Cease.
Yeah,
Cease.
I think Cease is really the only player, though, when you think about it. I mean, teams would take Eloy and take Robert, but...
Oh, they could. I mean, they could build a whole farm system with the guys they have. I mean, they don't have value. They don't really have much value, but you could get really good prospects for TA, amazing prospects for Cease, and then you could get ancillary prospects for Luis Robert. Probably decent prospects. He's young.
No, they definitely still draw a nice return. Now's not the time to move them when they're both hitting one.
No, but they're never going to be good. Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez will never be good with the White Sox.
That's a tough take, but I don't know.
I don't think they'll ever be good with the White
unfair
Sox.
Take.
I don't think. Maybe if they go somewhere else. I mean, they're going to be the 2 and 3 hitters. They're not that.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Benintendi like a 6-year deal or 5-year deal. He's the single.
I mean, that was insane.
That was crazy.
It's also insane how that guy's career kind of just went like.
Yeah, we talked about Benintendi. I mean, that was something that I think most organizations and like MLB insiders were like, wow, he got that much money. Everyone was kind of really surprised there. He doesn't have any power anymore. The team is just so poorly constructed.
Yeah, they really are just poorly constructed. I mean, I was gonna say, if you like looked at them in the offseason, like that team's got talent, but they really don't. I mean, I really don't like Eloy and Robert. I don't really like them as players.
I did, but now
I don't really think they're that good. I
It
mean, I
looks
never
really
really
bad.
did. I don't know. Like those guys just never really.
this is my 4th and 6th round pick in fantasy baseball, so
You have both of them.
it looks pretty rough, right?
Man,
I'm-
you got both of them. I didn't even know that.
I'm 1-3. Things don't look good.
I'm 2-1, and my team sucks. I look at my roster every day. I'm like, oh, this team's pretty.
Most
bad.
teams suck in a 12-team league, but right now I have those two and Manny Machado all hitting below 200. So things aren't going great,
I
but
mean, at least Manny's good. Like,
yeah, you got to hope Manny Machado gets things right.
The other
but,
two suck. I mean, I can't really see them doing anything.
But even more with the White Sox, though, we're talking about how bad the pitching is. Cease is the meal ticket, like you said. That's the guy you can get a team's top prospect for. I think the likes of like Lucas Giolito and maybe Lance Lynn, depending on if Lance Lynn can kind of like right the ship a little bit, can get you back something.
I wouldn't trade anything for Lucas Giolito. I hate that guy. He's terrible.
Yeah, I don't like him either, but I think he's a guy that a team can look at him and be like, all right, maybe we can fix him. Maybe our pitching coach can talk to him and see if something works there. But yeah, he's probably not much. He's got to be a free agent soon, too. I feel like he's been in the league for a while.
He's been a while.
Maybe next year or this year.
Who'd you rather have, Lance Lynn or Giolito? Lance Lynn, right?
Lance Lynn. I would take Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn is like a 7 ERA right now, but
He's striking out a lot of guys.
yeah, you just assume he'll right the ship where I have less confidence in Giolito. But Giolito is younger and maybe, I don't know, they're both pretty bad. But I'd probably take Lynn.
Who'd you rather have, Eloy or Luis Robert?
Eloy.
Eloy.
I think Eloy has a better approach. Luis Robert has a 220 on base percentage. He just swings at everything. It's very concerning. It's very, very concerning. But I think Eloy has a really good offensive approach. I think he's in a big slump right now. This is how baseball kind of works, as you notice, like with the Padres.
Yeah, the problem is with Eloy, though, he's in a big slump, and then he's going to get hurt.
He's going to get hurt when he heats up.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the problem with Eloy. But I think Eloy's a really good hitter, where I think Robert has all the tools, but he is just so raw, and he shouldn't be this raw at age like 26. Like, he should definitely have it more put together at this point. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Robert's a guy that, like, he could be out of baseball in 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Eloy will have a job forever as a DH.
Yeah, I mean, no one develops with the White Sox. Besides Dylan Cease and Tim Anderson, like, just all these top prospects, none of them developed. None of them got better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with Yoan Moncada. I don't need to see him ever again. I know
No, he has his moments.
he showed.
But I mean,
you gotta remember, this guy was the top prospect in baseball with Boston, and they traded him to
he
White
has
Sox.
his moments.
He's done
but
nothing.
Michael Kopech has his moments.
Kopech's bad. I got Liam Hendricks back here, which will help, but it's
I mean,
really
maybe
bad.
Trade him.
Maybe that could be something for sure. It looks really bad with the White Sox. Do you listen? I think I know the answer, but the season's over for the White Sox.
It's completely over.
There's no world
they
where
they might have the first overall pick next year.
There's
They're
no
that
world
bad.
where they get back to 500. They get back to relevancy this year.
No, there's
Okay.
no. There's even the AL Central's bad. The Twins are substantially better than them.
So I'll have you predict then. We talked about the trades here. Do you think Dylan Cease gets traded?
What's his contract? Let me pull up his contract.
He's still very controllable. So like, it
I
could
mean-
happen, but it'd be a haul. It's kind of a bold
I
prediction.
mean, they should. They have a bad farm. They have a pretty bad farm, and they're never going to be good with him, right? Like,
Probably.
I mean, I thought Tim Anderson was locked up. He's not. He's a free agent. And Dylan Cease has 2 more years of control left.
That's a big return. You trade him now.
I would trade
He looks
him.
like the Cy Young form he looked like last year. His only issue is walks, but he's still a great pitcher.
I would trade him.
They might do it.
Like, no doubt.
They really, really might. Moving on again from the White Sox here. We'll go around some more just news around the league here. Astros here. Jordan Alvarez is hurt again. It's very frustrating with Jordan because I think he has all the tools in the world to be a Hall of Famer, truthfully. I think his bat is incredible, but he got these injuries. He's only 25 years old. He's already had 2 knee replacements. He's having a hand issue. Now it's like a neck soreness problem where I think this health is the only thing that's going to derail this guy.
Yeah, it seems like he's always got these nagging injuries. I mean, he looks like he's like a big dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not in the best shape. Maybe that's a problem with him. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why he's always getting these stupid injuries.
He doesn't look like heavy, I don't think. Like,
No, but I mean, you see him in a baseball uniform.
That's
so who
true. It could be a
knows?
little baggy.
Who knows? I mean, that could be a thing. But yeah, he always seems to have something. He's always never going to get a full year out of him. It's kind of like Stanton. It's never really gonna
Yeah,
be
no, it's
the,
similar for sure. Michael Brantley, remember that name?
Michael Brantley.
He's out in AAA right now, going to get
Oh,
activated.
he's still an Astro.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like 35 years old now. I don't know what kind of contributions he's really going to make at this point in his career, but they're probably going to activate him next week or so. I know he just started his rehab assignment, and he had a torn labrum, so again, that's a tough injury to come back from. But I'm sure he'll help the Astros. The Astros know what they're doing. Zach Gallen, 28 scoreless innings, kind of looks like the Cy Young favorite right now.
Yeah, he's a really good pitcher, and now he's got a pretty good team too. Because he's always been a good pitcher on a bad team, so you never really talked about him. But now he's got a good team to pitch around.
He's so interesting too because if you remember, he had that like partially torn UCL, and I remember I was like so scared of that guy, so scared of all the guys that deal with this injury, where it's like it's a time bomb is what it essentially is called. But he's pitching through it. I'm sure he takes very good care of himself. I know the recovery time is probably really difficult, but he's pitching phenomenally for what, the third straight year now.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been everything they need, and they got a young staff, and he's the guy. Him and Merrill, Captain America.
Do you think he will be a top 3 NL Cy Young finish?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to keep it up, and I think they're going to make the playoffs too. So I think.
Do you think he wins the award?
Come on, man. I don't know. It's
Well,
April.
So you'll give him top 3. You
Who
can't.
else is in there? Who else is in there right now? I predicted your Julio Urias.
So Spencer Strider looks like the best pitcher ever right now. But
He could be. Spencer Strider could be the best pitcher ever because he looked like that last year too.
I
But he
think-
got hurt.
I was saying, I think the concern with him is how
His
much
injuries.
his arm can take,
And how many innings they'll let him
and
go.
if the Braves can let him go 180 innings.
I mean, I think they will. I think Braves don't really mess around. It's like the Rays.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
true.
Braves will let him go. He's filthy, Spencer Strider.
No, he's
he's-
really good. He's 2 pitches. He's fastball slider, but no one can hit them.
No, he's one of those
it's
guys
crazy.
where anytime he strikes at 15, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's not really surprising.
Yeah, just one more little note here. A guy that we kind of clown on pretty often, but it's unfortunate, so we'll talk about it. Robbie Ray, out for the season. He has to have flexor tendon surgery. I mean, say what you want about him. He's a solid pitcher. He's a solid pitcher, especially like a regular season guy. He's going to give you 200 innings usually. Of course, not now.
What a corporate answer.
Strikes-
You don't believe a word of that.
Listen. He really is, though. Like, he's not. He won the Cy Young that one year, which is kind of crazy. He had a 2.80
So
ERA and
Rick
struck
Porcello.
out 270 innings. He has better stuff than Rick Porcello, but it's just like he's a solid number 2, number 3 pitcher.
He's a number 3.
Number
He's
3?
a number 3, number 4. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like Robbie Ray at
I
all.
like when you-
I hate that he's hurt, but
I like when you strike out like 12 guys per 9. It's a
yeah,
lot of
He does
strikeouts.
strike out a lot of guys, but he's a Mr. 70 pitches in the 3rd inning. It's like, oh yeah,
that's
Robbie Ray
true.
Strike out 8 guys.
Needless to say, I believe. I don't know how you feel. I think this is just a huge blow for the
Yeah,
Mariners.
I do too. I mean, I don't think the Mariners had the depth to overcome it. They had a really bad start. I mean, I think it's funny that both me and you are probably we're pretty upset with the way our teams have started, but they got decent records. You look at
Yeah.
a team like Seattle, where it's like they got playoff hopes, and it's like, wow, they're 11-14. It's like it's
They're
kind of
just-
eye opening.
And the Mariners, again, you got to remember, they're getting the best performance from Jared Kelenic. They're getting some good performances for sure here. And Luis Castillo looks awesome, but I don't know. Now we got like Logan Gilbert behind him. The rotation definitely looks a little
George
shaky
Kirby.
now. Kirby's very good too.
Marco Gonzalez.
He's not, and Flexen. Like those two are.
Yeah, I mean, now they need innings out of guys that they weren't supposed to get innings out of, but that's baseball.
That is baseball. It puts you behind the 8 ball, but of course the better teams overcome that and they figure out their depth issues properly.
Yeah, that's a problem the Mariners are gonna have to come across. I think I still think they're gonna come in second in that division. I really don't like Texas or the Angels at
I
all.
don't like Texas at all. I mean, I hate the Angels, but I think they're very similar teams.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
I think they're both going to be around 500.
Yeah, probably. They'll probably be both around. I can't even disagree with you if I wanted to.
Angels won't trade Ohtani. They're just not going to do it. Like they can't. And Mariners are all in. DePoe's going to make 17 trades at the deadline and try to improve this team, but it's just the roster's not that good. You kind of look at it up to down. They have some good players.
Cal Raleigh bats for.
Yeah, I mean, you hope Kelenic keeps this going, but I mean, the other guys in this lineup are Colton Wong and AJ Pollock, and I mean, Ty France is good. Eugenio's a home run or a strikeout. JP Crawford's can't hit. Like, these guys just aren't that good.
Yeah, they don't really have that good players.
It's-
They really
yeah,
don't.
I
I mean, their whole thing was, I think, getting Castillo was cool. I mean, if they,
And they locked him up, so he's a part of their future.
yeah, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
I think they have a really good core,
Yeah.
just they're not there yet.
No, they got to make some other moves to get around. Their veterans are pretty bad.
All right, before we do our Dog of the Week segment, Chris, we'll do a little check-in on our teams, our Mets and our Yankees. Like you kind of touched on earlier, I think we're both not very thrilled right now about how things are going.
No.
The Mets went out west and had a really, really good trip. They came home, they lost their first 2 against the Nationals, and now they lost 4 in a row. It's not great. Tell me about the Yankees.
I don't even want to talk about them. So I was hoping we would talk more about the Mets.
We'll stay on the Mets first. Then. They're not pitching or hitting, so it's kind of hard to win games.
Formula.
It's a bad formula, tough to win games that way. I mean, the pitching is in shambles at this current moment. Max is, of course, suspended from the rosin. You have Verlander, who's on the mend, who's should be back soon. I think Senga's been a little bit exposed here. He can't really throw strikes. And then it's whoever throws that day. It's Budo, Lucchesi, Peterson, McGill. These guys just aren't that good.
Yeah, it's just kind of expecting results from people that aren't good. Yeah, with Senga, I mean, I know the ball is a big adjustment.
It is a big adjustment.
That's always a thing with the
He had a walk problem in Japan as well.
Oh, he did?
So, like, maybe this is a thing. I mean, he's filthy. The guy throws really good stuff, but I don't know. You look around the lineup here. Pete's got 10 home runs, but he's in 240, which is not too far off. Lindor's 213. Lindor just... It's very frustrating with Lindor because he's going to have a month where he hits 500 and it's going to look decent at the end of the year.
Quincy going nuts about
this is what he does. And this is now 3 years now where it's not... I don't know. I mean, he's a really good player. I like him, but it's really hard when your superstar player goes.
I mean, the thing with him though, he's never been a great bat. He's been a very good bat.
He was in Cleveland, like way back when. Probably during the juice ball.
Yeah, maybe it was the juice ball.
He had like a 38 home run year, like in Cleveland. Like he was really good.
But I think even that year, probably around 270, right? He was always kind of like
probably in that ballpark. But yeah, no, he's frustrating for me. I tell you all the time, like. When you give a guy $300+ million, like he should really be great. Like he should really be a top.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Definitely,
it's frustrating.
You watch a guy every day, and you're like, why can't we have a guy like?
And he's awesome, but he should be a $200 million player. Like the $350 million I gave him. Like, come on, there's so many guys out there. Like, I mean, Aaron Judge is. I mean, of course, it's hindsight now, but the guys like Aaron Judge, like Ohtani, those are like the
guys you.
But those are the top guys.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's frustrating.
I mean, think about it though. Like Carlos Correa almost got that. He hitting 200 with a 600.
Yeah,
OPS,
that's probably dodged a bullet there. You got to say.
You know what's interesting with Carlos Correa? I mean, he's really like never been that good.
He's never done it. He's always been
really
the
never been. And he's
the
like talking all
potential and the pedigree, but he's never actually.
The way he
done
talks, he's like, yeah, it's gas and a Lamborghini. It's like, dude, you're not a Lamborghini, bro. Like you're a Ford. You're like a Ford. Like what do you mean a Lamborghini? Like
he is not short on confidence. He thinks very highly of himself, and he is a very good player.
Yeah, he is, but
like
I mean,
this guy. Was he the first overall pick?
Yeah, his numbers don't compare to.
He was supposed to be like. Incredible. He had the 1 year where he was doing awesome and he got hurt. Like
yeah, and he's always I don't know. I'm not big on him. So with the Mets, what do you do? I mean, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, like what?
Well, I went into the year thinking the Braves were definitely better. That stays. That remains. I think this team's gonna win 90 games, and they're probably gonna lose in the playoff. It's just I'm not excited about it. It's hard. It's Mark Canha. It's Vogelbach, it's all these, it's Pham, it's these guys they're playing. It's like 4 of their spots every day just have no shot.
Yeah, I mean you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, it's similar to the Yankees situation, of course. They're playing Beatty and Alvarez a little bit more now, which is fun. They're both not off to great starts, but they're both playing sporadically, which is I think Buck's starting.
Stupid.
It's stupid.
That's what we're doing with Peraza. He plays 3 times a week.
How do you expect them to get any role doing that? It doesn't make sense.
Nah, it's stupid. I guess we'll start with the Yankees now, but I mean, yeah, they play Peraza 3-4 times a week, and they play guys like Willie Calhoun, Franchi Cordero. It's like you could find a way to play Oswald Peraza.
Did I send you that Franchi Cordero tweet today? It was like the Franchi Cordero experience. It was like week 1, this guy's the best player ever. Week 2, it's like this guy really can't field too well. Like week 3, it was like how's this guy in baseball?
Yeah, he's been awful. But it's just I don't know. I mean, this team just their problem was they couldn't hit. They didn't get anyone in the offseason that can hit. Everybody's hurt. No one seems to want to come back. It seems like no one's going to come back for whatever reason. It just seems like everyone's
for
like...
who? Who do you mean?
I mean, Rondon. When's this guy going to pitch?
Oh, okay.
When is this guy going to pitch? You give him all this money. Like, I mean, I already kind of hate the guy. It's unfair, but I mean, when he comes, he better be good. If he comes out and he has bad first 2 starts, I'm gonna be like, all right, this guy sucks. Like I'll be booing him.
This is a
Am I
guy
an
with
idiot?
a
Yeah.
long history with injuries.
Yeah, it was a risk, and I don't think
Yeah.
they should. I mean, listen.
You were
I
happy
like
at the
the signing.
time.
No, I like
Everyone-
the signing. I still like the signing, but I mean, it's just it was a risk, and they didn't get any bats. They didn't get any bats at all. They didn't bring in any bats.
Yeah, we talked about that at nauseam. We kind of said, like, they had a good offseason. They really did. They brought back Judge and they signed Rodon, but
But they didn't get any.
we were
bats.
saying, like, how are we? I mean, it's insanity that they're running out Aaron Hicks at this point. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
it's not even like you can't really talk about it. There's nothing to say. It's like it doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're calling up guys that are been out of baseball, like Willie Calhoun,
It's
and like
insane.
it's.
I
Like,
mean, I actually kind of like Willie Calhoun. Like, I think he'd be a good bench player in the MLB. I think I would like to keep him, but like,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, my silver lining with the Yankees is just get in the playoffs, and if they're healthy, they got Cole, who looks like the best pitcher in baseball. They got Rondon, they got Nestor and Severino, and that's pretty good staff to be in the playoffs with. You could win with that.
Yeah,
staff.
pitching wins
You could
in
win.
October, famously,
And they have enough hitting if they're healthy that they could. They have enough. They have enough offense. Volpe's starting to look really good.
He's
He's
playing
starting
better.
to come into his own.
Mhm.
I like him lead off. I do like that a lot. It moves LeMahieu back in the lineup. He's up with guys on base, but I mean, they definitely need 2 bats in the offseason. In the trade deadline if they're going to do anything. But they're just boring to watch. That's really all I have to say about it. Like, it's get home from work, and I don't want to watch.
You say 2 bats. I know we're not even close to there yet. Have you even thought about it?
I mean, I really want Jock Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a good fit.
That could happen.
Yeah, I think it's a really good fit. Other than that, I don't know. No one really knows yet.
Yeah, at this point, we don't know who's buying, who's selling, but I think Jock, the lefty, swing, of course, in Yankee Stadium just makes all the sense in the world.
Left fielder.
Left fielder, too. He fits a lot of needs there, and I think he's a guy you can re-sign to a 3-year deal, and he's, like 31
Yeah,
or 30?
I always think they should have signed him, but
Can play left field DH. He can play around with Stanton, too. It makes sense, for sure.
that's really all we got to talk about with that.
Yeah, we're both not thrilled about our situations. We can talk about the dog of the week now. Chris, do you want to go first with your dog of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my dog of the week. I'm going to go Ramon Urias. Or Urias. I don't know why I pronounced like an idiot. But he won the Gold Glove last year, and he's always been known for a good glove. He's been up since late 2020 with the O's. He's always been a great fielder, and he's really started to come into his own as a hitter. And this lineup is really scary. And he's lengthening it. He's batting 8th for them. He's got 800 OPS. His power number is never really a big power guy, but if you're going to be in the O's lineup that's pretty deep, guy batting 8th with an 800 OPS and playing Gold Glove defense at third base, that's enough for a dog. And he just had a 4-hit game against the Red Sox,
Wow.
and he had a crazy series. So in this series, he went 7 for 11. He had against the Red Sox, division rival, 7 for 11. And he's playing Gold Glove defense too. It's enough.
I think that's a really good dog of the week and a really good example of this exercise because I have not really heard anything about him this year.
No. I just been watching AL. I watch
They're in
a
your
lot of
division,
AL.
so it makes more sense that you would know more about him than I would. But that's pretty cool too. And I know that Gunnar Henderson, their top prospect, is off to a just putrid start. Jorge Mateo's playing well, so
Jorge Mateo's playing well too.
it's pretty good. Those two are definitely shining out right now. Hopefully, Gunnar.
Shout out to Jorge Mateo too, because I didn't give him dog of the week, but he's hitting 362 with a 1,000 OPS, 8 steals and 4 homers.
He's been phenomenal.
It's an all-star.
He's a former top prospect.
Yeah, he is for the
Maybe
Yankees.
maybe he put it together for the Yankees.
Yeah,
Maybe he put it together.
No, he's had an all-star season so far. He stole 35 bags last year. I hope he did. That'd be cool.
All right, for my dog of the week now, the name right now is Drew Maggi. He's 33 years old, 13 seasons in the minor leagues. The Pirates call him up. It's all with the Pirates right now. The Pirates are all in the headlines for the right reasons right now. They call up this guy, 3,846 at-bats in the minor leagues.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
That's
insane.
insane. That's
He never gave up. And
34 years old.
Listen, he hit 254 in his career with a 690 OPS. Like,
Yeah, it is interesting because he never really hit. He never really.
No, it's absolutely phenomenal. He got the start today for the Pirates. I don't believe he got a hit, but
Oh, he got the start today.
they started him today.
And
Really,
they won.
really cool story. I hope. I mean, I don't think he's
I hope
like.
they don't
I was
DFA.
gonna say I don't think he's that good because I'm looking at his minor league numbers here, but Awesome story. These little things in baseball is what it's all about. It makes us all.
Yeah, last night was awesome. Did
Yeah,
you
he
watch
got the
that?
ovation.
Did you watch it?
Did he get a strike violation?
He did get a strike
This
violation,
is ridiculous. But
no, that was awesome.
he didn't get a hit, right? What did he do?
He struck out.
Okay.
Some Jimmy Vesey or whatever his name is, the reliever on the lefty reliever on the Dodgers.
Vesia?
Vesey, he's an ass. He threw him a changeup. 8-1 game and he threw him a changeup. I hate that. He didn't strike out today. Went 0 for 3. Played third base.
It's interesting, like we were saying. I don't really know what he brings to the table.
They better let him get a hit.
You gotta hope they keep him around until he gets a hit. But I mean, hey, they're in first place, so it's not.
Box score searching. I know. Got to go back to your dog. We forgot to mention with the Pirates pitching, Mitch Keller.
He's been great.
Yeah,
he's been absolutely. He's a part of that. I said they lead the MLB in quality starts. Mitch has been awesome. If you remember, we got Mitch Keller in our fantasy draft, and I said I like that pick a lot right now.
Yeah, I do. He strikes out. I remember that.
He looks really, really good, and I think he's a guy that he's probably coming to his own now, and probably gets you 200 innings.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Before we wrap things up here, anything else you want to mention here?
Yeah, shout out to Connor Joe hitting cleanup on the Pirates.
Some more Pirates talk.
Yeah.
All right, Chris is all
Pirates.
in his fields right now with the Pirates. You're not going to Pittsburgh, right?
I am going to Pittsburgh.
You are going to Pittsburgh this year.
I am.
When are you going?
I'm going May 19th. I'll be there. Watch them play the Diamondbacks. 2 first-place teams, Central and the West.
Hopefully you see all your guys.
Hopefully I got a ticket.
Hopefully you get a ticket. Hopefully you see Mitch Keller and Drew Maggi and all the dudes. All right, nothing else then. That'll wrap it up for us. We'll come back next week. Hopefully with some more information. I feel like it was a little bit of a light week in baseball, but I'm sure something crazy will happen next week. Thanks for watching, everybody.